Alright guys, are you ready? Alright guys, welcome back to Blind Little Barbecue. I am Andy. Today we're going to make some awesome ciabatta. They're going to be light and airy, they're going to have that awesome crust. The best part about it though is we're not even going to need to knead the dough. It's going to be really super simple, really low effort. They're going to be amazing. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so to get this ciabatta started, first of all we are back with the bowl again. So to that we are going to add 280 grams, which, as you know, is about 280 millilitres of lukewarm water. That's about 95 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to add to that a teaspoon of yeast, and we are going to add to that a teaspoon of salt. We are going to give that a whisk together until everything is all dissolved and combined. So everybody is now combined in there. Everyone's all introduced. We're going to add in 350 grams of bread flour. This is just regular white bread flour. And get everybody incorporated. So we start to bring together a dough. Now, with the amount of water in this, it's going to be a really high hydration dough. So about 80%. So it's going to be a really wet dough, this. So as you can see, it's a really wet and sticky dough. So too wet for us to get that out and knead it at the moment. So for this stage, that is it. Because this is such a high hydration dough and we're not using a stand mixer for this, it'd be really difficult to knead that by hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave it under the plastic wrap for 2 hours. But whilst it's proving, we are going to actually fold the dough, and that is going to create really uniform gluten strands, which is going to make an absolutely amazing ciabatta by the time I'm finished. But you don't have to go through the effort of kneading that dough all the way through that process. I'll see you in about half an hour. Alright guys, so it's been about half an hour, so we're going to uncover the dough. As you can see, it's still really sticky and it sticks to your fingers if you touch it. So the way that we're going to get around this is going to allow us to be able to handle that dough is we're going to get a bowl of water. So if you just dip your finger in there now, as you can see, it doesn't stick like it just did. So we get our hands in the water. All we're going to do this time, really simple, is we're going to fold that dough out. So get your hands in underneath, and we're going to take the dough and fold it in on itself like that, and then turn the bowl 90 degrees, and we're going to do the same again all the way around. Don't worry at this stage if it tears. We're not quite at the stage where that gluten's developed yet, so don't worry if that is the case. But just 90 degrees again. Make sure you're keeping your fingers in that water before you do it, and this is going to make those strands of gluten really uniform. and start to produce a really well structured dough. So as it's going through this, we are going to take the dough and fold it like this twice after the first 30 minutes and then once every 30 minutes until that 2 hours is complete in the same way. So it's been about another 30 minutes, so for a total of 2 hours. As you can see, the dough has risen and we're now going to turn it out now. Because of the hydration levels in this dough, it is still really sticky, so we need to really flour that worktop as well. Now, with this next part, again, make sure you've got some flour on your hands, and I'm just going to flour the top. We're going to stretch the dough out into a rectangle shape as well, and we're going to need a little bit more space around it for that, but we want to be careful to not knock out too much of the air out of this. So it's okay to knock a little bit out, but we want to keep as much air in there as possible. Keep those air bubbles nice and large in there. So the way we're going to do this, make sure hands are floured so it doesn't stick to me either. But then from underneath, we start to pull it out, shape that into rectangle shape. Once we've got our rectangle shape, carefully we are going to roll this. Again, being careful to keep that gas in there and not knock all of the air out of that. So then we're going to take our bench scraper and I'm just going to cut the end off there just to make it look a bit nicer. Same again, that side. And then we're going to cut this into 3 equal pieces. Okay, so once we've got that rough shape, once again, you get a bit of flour on the worktop, and we're going to be able to separate these out into ciabatta rolls. Make sure there's some space between these, because this is now going to go for the final proof. So once again, we are going to cover these in plastic wrap for about another 45 minutes. Just make sure with this part as well that all of them have got a really good dusting of flour on top, otherwise it'll stick to the plastic wrap. So it's been about 45 minutes, guys. As you can see, we've had a nice rise on there. So we're going to carefully peel back the plastic wrap, try and keep those in shape. So now we're going to transfer them to, normally if you've got a baking stone, that'd be perfect, or if you've got some parchment paper. Unfortunately, I don't have either of those, so we're going to use an inverted baking sheet. And to stop that sticking, we're going to flour that. So we're going to give it a generous dust in there of the flour. I mean, you don't need to go too crazy. It's only to stop it sticking. So as we pick this up, again being careful not to knock too much air out of that. So at this stage, I'm going to start to shape it into that elongated loaf shape. And again, I'm going to reflour my hands so that when I pick it up, it doesn't stick to me. I'm just going to start stretching that into that loaf shape that we're looking for. Same again that way. So they are ready for the oven. So we've preheated the oven to 450 Fahrenheit. So that's about 232 degrees. So these are going to go in at 450 for 10 minutes, and then we're going to reduce the heat down to 400, and it's going to be there for another 15 minutes or so, and then they're going to be done. As they go into the oven, we're going to give them a spritz of water as well. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for today's video. As you can see though, they are light, crispy, they've got that good crust, they've got that amazing texture on the inside, they're super fluffy. They're going to make awesome barbecue sandwiches in a bit, but you can use them for other stuff as well. It's a really versatile, simple bread to make. If you did enjoy the video today, please do leave us a like, comment, subscribe, don't forget to get that notification bell to stay up to date with all our new videos. And yeah, that's it, I'm out.